Have you ever found yourself searching for a memory that seems just out of reach? A name, a place, or a moment that once felt so vivid now slipping through the cracks of your mind? Why do we forget? What causes this mysterious phenomenon? And more importantly, what does it tell us about who we are? Forgetfulness. We all experience it, yet it remains one of the most profound and misunderstood aspects of the human experience. But what if I told you that forgetting isn't something that's simply happening to us? What if forgetting is not a flaw, but a vital function, a necessary part of how we navigate the world, how we learn, and even how we make sense of our lives? Let's journey through the science, psychology, and philosophy of memory and explore why forgetting may be just as essential as remembering. Memory is a complex, finely tuned system. Our brains are constantly receiving, processing, and storing information from the world around us. Every sight, sound, and sensation leaves an imprint, but not all of it stays. In fact, a significant amount of what we experience is forgotten. In neuroscience, we refer to this as memory decay. It's the idea that memories fade over time, a natural process that happens as neural connections weaken. Think of it like an old, overgrown trail that once led to something important. But as time passes, the path becomes less defined. The more you travel it, the clearer the way becomes. But why do we forget? One theory is that forgetting is part of the brain's way of prioritizing. Our brain is like a library, but a library with limited shelf space. Not every book can stay on the shelf forever. To make room for new information, our brain needs to prune irrelevant, outdated, or redundant memories. Without this process, we'd be overwhelmed by clutter, unable to focus on what truly matters. But there's more. Research from the field of neuroscience has shown that forgetting may also play a role in consolidation. When we forget something, it's not just lost, it can help reinforce the key aspects of our memory. It's a way of making the most important memories stick. This process, known as active forgetting, allows us to prioritize what's most important, adapting our minds to the ever-changing environment. So forgetting isn't a sign of weakness, but a brilliant evolutionary strategy. But what about the psychological aspects of forgetting? We've all forgotten things, perhaps even things we want to remember. We forget names, dates, and conversations. We forget why we entered a room. Sometimes we forget painful memories. Freud, the famous psychoanalyst, introduced the idea of repression, the unconscious process by which we forget memories too painful to confront. According to Freud, we actively push these memories out of conscious awareness to protect ourselves from emotional distress. But repression isn't always negative. It's a psychological defense mechanism that shields us from overwhelming pain. In this sense, forgetting becomes an act of self-preservation. But what happens when we forget too much? Could forgetting in some ways also be a form of self-sabotage? Sometimes when we suppress memories or emotions, we lose vital parts of ourselves. Forgetting can be a way to avoid growth, to prevent confronting our deeper truths. We may forget who we are, where we come from, or the lessons we've learned. The key lies in balance, remembering the lessons without getting overwhelmed by the details. Forgetting helps us move on, but it's equally important to remember what's essential. Our self-identity is shaped by a complex dance between memory and forgetfulness. From a philosophical standpoint, forgetting challenges our very concept of existence. If memory shapes our identities, then what are we if we forget who we once were? The ancient Greek philosopher Plato argued that memory is what gives us our sense of self. But what happens when our memory fails us? Are we still the same person? Some philosophers, like Henri Bergson, propose that memory is not just a mental function, it's a fluid creative force. In this view, forgetting becomes a natural part of life's ebb and flow. The world around us is constantly changing, and our memory too must change with it. Forgetting allows us to let go of the past and embrace the future. It's a form of mental liberation. Forgetfulness can also be a humbling experience. In our pursuit of knowledge and wisdom, we often think we need to hold on to every scrap of information. But maybe the key to true wisdom lies not in clinging to every moment, but in recognizing that some things must be released. We cannot carry the weight of everything forever. But in the end, perhaps the most profound insight is this: forgetting can be a gift that frees us to experience the world more fully. By forgetting, we make room for the new. We shed the old and allow ourselves to experience the present. We release the past, not as a rejection of it, but as a way of letting it go, so we can live with greater clarity, focus, and joy. There's also a deeper existential dimension to forgetting. Every day we forget small things and large things, but in doing so, we are reminded of our impermanence, the fleeting nature of life. Every moment is transient, and by forgetting, we become more connected to the present. In forgetting, we are reminded that life is not just about what we remember, but about how we live. So the next time you forget something, remember this: forgetting is not the enemy of memory, but its counterpart. It is not a flaw of the mind, but a tool of growth. The dance of remembering and forgetting is what allows us to move through life unburdened and free to create new experiences. In the grand mystery of our existence, perhaps it's not the things we forget, but how we live with them that truly matters.